For those who don't know, we're together remodeling a castle and turning it into an event venue. Is that the simplest form?
That is a very simple way of saying that we're in the middle of a very involved project, yes.
The simplest terms is we're making a very pretty venue out of something that was...
Not.
that had character.
We're pulling the potential out of a facility that's been there for 50 years.
We're expanding on someone's dream and someone's
That's
vision.
a good way of saying it. Yeah, we're expanding a dream from the 1970s.
And bringing it up to date.
And bringing it up to the 21st century. I like that. That's a good way of saying it, yeah. For 6 days a week, there has been a full crew between 6 and 12 people at this remote site. We are looking at basically gutting the facility. I don't think any portion of the site is off limits. And getting it accessible, getting the electricity, getting the plumbing, redoing the walls, the floors, tearing down walls, tearing off ceilings, tearing off floors.
Building walls.
Building
ceilings.
Yes.
Building floors.
Finding new rooms that we didn't know were there. The entire range of what can happen in construction is we're running into on this site.
While all of that's been going on construction-wise, behind the scenes on our end, we're coming up with the designs and curating the collection of furniture and decor that's going on, or that will be going into the spaces, as well as creating the marketing materials and prices and legalities of having a venue. So there's kind of twofold what's happening.
Absolutely. In the architecture world, we call it programming. And it's coming and finding out what the site needs to have done, what its possibilities are, what the owner wants, what Velvet Mesquite wants, and all the possibilities there are, as well as all the caveats and the issues. So we have the construction going on one hand, behind the scenes, Velvet Mesquite's coming in going, what if? And how about, and how do we get to this point? So
we're both having to look at it from a standpoint of we have our client, but then we have all the clients that will potentially be the clients for the space. So just because our client wants one thing or we want one thing, we have to look at it and go, but is that feasible, or does that make sense for a wedding of 150 people or a party of 50 people?
How does a 21-year-old bride-to-be view that site? And
how does her dad view that site?
How does that people paying for it view the site? Yeah.
Yeah.
We're dealing with a structure that was started in the late 60s, early 70s with no plans and was built to some degree on a whim in stages over the last 50 years.
Room by room by floor.
So nothing is up to code. We expected that, but finding subterranean electrical units, finding plumbing, those items are a nightmare, and we knew they would be. Whoever put it together was running gas through irrigation pipe.
It's not good. You don't do that.
What could go wrong? The septic system that's out there. The septic system was put in when the house was built. Nobody knows where it's at. Hadn't been serviced since 1973. We're basically starting from scratch on the utilities, and that is a challenge in amongst itself. And as Velvet Mesquite comes to us and says, we need power for a party of 240 people, we're having to bring Encore out there going, do we have power that can handle 240 people? And go from there, and then convince the owner that if this is going to work, you're going to have to provide power. That has been a big, big deal, is the what ifs that we don't know, and nobody knows.
And on that, so the castle is actually the third structure, like houses that are in the area. So there's an original ranch house that's where the original electricity, original plumbing,
1920s ranch house
went to. And then there's the second house that is where the current owner lives, where they've lived most of the time.
Quite an elaborate 5-bedroom,
still
5-bath
looks like
house.
A castle in itself.
Yes.
And then there's the quote-unquote castle that we're turning into the venue. So you're not only looking at just like where one line goes, but it's 3 that are getting split up, and contractors are turning off lines for something, thinking, oh, this is turning off the line for the castle, and it's turning off a line for the castle and the house and the barn that's
200 yards away.
Yeah.
Good example, exactly what you just said, is the contractor turned off a valve for the swimming pool, and the owner's bedroom master bath no longer has water. Little things like that we're finding out.
Things aren't labeled. It's not.
No. So to some degree, we're having to start from scratch through stone walls, which is interesting. Contractors having a wonderful time. We're at a stage now, at least upstairs, where we're trying to limit the owner's interaction with the site, so we can surprise her a little bit with some of what's going on. There's a few things we're still trying to figure out, but for the most part, upstairs is about 85% complete, I think. Velvet Mesquite will be moving in all the fun stuff here before too long. The 9-foot, 380-pound chandelier is hung now in the foyer. The contractor is grinding floors down now. We're about to build the bar out. Bathrooms are going in. I think by mid-December, we're going to be starting to go downstairs and do the really cool spaces downstairs.
So on our end, we're going to be moving into the upstairs. Hopefully we're moving our 2 upstairs suites in at the same time. Originally we were going to do one, then the other. After talking with the owner and just seeing her schedule and what that was like and what she had going on, we decided to combine the 2. That'll be very, very, very soon. We have a storage unit and a shop full of furniture and items that will be moved in. From there, it's going to be the bottom floor, moving all of that in December. If all goes well, we will have a grand opening, which is going to be kind of a media party, and we're really going to design the space to its full potential to kind of get everybody excited for what can be. I'm looking past just what a venue would have. One thing when you're creating a space, I think, and this goes with any venue, any wedding, any event, is using your 5 senses. And I think this space, you're going to be able to do that. From a design aspect, we're not just looking at it straight as a venue. It was always a home and an entertainment space for the owners and who are now our clients, and we're keeping that integrity. So it is still a home, it is still an entertainment space.
Parts of the facility are near and dear to her. She associates it with her husband, who created all this. And so we're having to be extremely true as best we can to what we think are his original ideas and dreams. It's fine to call it eccentric. We're making eccentric work. This isn't I think I want the architecture to resemble a castle. This is an owner who came in and said, I'm going to use stone and build a castle based on his experiences in Eastern Europe. Allegedly, he had plans drawn up. He took a look at the plans and threw them away and built it himself.
We would do the same thing.
Makes my life a lot harder, though.
But you would do the same thing.
I'm losing hair over it. Yeah.
Patrick and I were driving through the hill country not too long ago, and we were passing quite a few venues that were like castle style, and they looked gimmicky or fake. This space is going to be a destination, whether you're from Midland, Odessa, from Big Spring, or from Boston. It is a space that if you want to, you could even fly into, bring your guests straight to the space, have as much of an authentic Texas experience as you want, or have a black tie in a castle.
Or in an aircraft hangar.
Event. Yeah. So it is fully customizable in ways that most venues aren't.
It's so much more than just a building. We're putting in a professional putting green. It already has a brand new tennis court that we're illuminating at night. We'll have bocce ball courts. We'll have a vineyard. You want to pick cotton? It has cotton fields. The owner will let you go out and pick cotton and understand that process. There's a swimming pool. You want to ride horses with the cowboys.
There's a medieval wine cellar that you can have wine tastings in.
A true cellar that the owner brought in craftsmen from Eastern Europe to build. You want to fly your own plane in? We got a mile-long runway, 800 yards from the venue. You want a small party for 1,600 of your closest friends? They have a hangar that can accommodate that. You want to go trophy whitetail hunting? We can do that. You want to go quail hunting? We can do that. You want to just go sporting clay shooting with the guys and girls for the weekend? We can do that. You want to have a very formal wedding? It's there. And it is unlike anything that you will stumble across that I've been involved in 36 years of doing this professionally. So it's one of a kind, very much so.
For more information on everything we're doing, Castle or Velvet Mesquite, day-to-day activities, subscribe, follow us on YouTube, follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Velvet Mesquite Designs. Head over to our website. Really just follow us. We're a bunch of fun. You'll see it.